Hello there and welcome. We've got a quick little bonus session today where we are going to talk all about creating change. So here I will share my screen. Let me get into present mode. Okay, we'll share this one. Okay, so we are looking at ways to create change. And so one of the ways I love to do that is using my oils as little energy boosters, and not energy boosters in the way of boosting your physical energy, but boosting your emotional vibration or your vibration of how you show up in the world, right? We can use these not just to cleanse our surroundings, like we're going to use tea tree and on guard and some of this. They're good for like cleaning the house, but they're also really good for cleaning our house, cleaning our emotional house. So we're going to walk through that. Then we're also going to talk about ways that you can create change and make a difference in this world. Okay, let's dive in. Super, super fun one, and we'll keep it nice and short and quick. So what this is going to look like for you is we're going to do this clearing. So it's an energetic clearing about clearing the channels. Okay. Then we're going to talk about making a difference and ways you can do that. And then we'll save some room at the end for those. Any questions that you might have or going over what looking at the fall cleanse might look like for you. Okay. So clearing your channels. So this is intended to remove the emotional hooks. So whenever you have a negative interaction for you, it subconsciously, consciously, and subconsciously puts a little hook in. And over time, these hooks build up and they pull us down. They pull us back. It's like you're trying to move forward, you're trying to change, you're trying to be that better person, that best self of yours, but you got all this weight that's dragging you back under, right? And so this is what helps to kind of clear that away. Any of those times that someone said you can't do that, right? Any of those times someone that you felt that judgment on you. So it's going to help with that. It's also going to help to change those generational patterns, or just even in our own lifetime, what was there before that, we did because it helped protected us, kept us safe, but we no longer need to hold on to that. So some of these habits that we have are so ingrown. Could be from us, could be something that our parents did, right? Could be even things that our ancestors did. And there's actually really interesting scientific research on how that is actually physically getting laid down in our DNA, that our ancestors, what happened to them can create an emotional response in us. Okay. These are some ways that we can use essential oils to let that go or to help us let that go. Okay. So you can do this whenever you feel heavy, whenever you feel that way down. You can do it whenever you're starting a seasonal cleanse, like we're using it for right now. And you can use it like once and we one and done, and it's okay, I feel good. Or you might choose to do this or a variation of this every day for a week, or perhaps for your whole seasonal cleanse, to really kind of do that, deeper scouring action emotionally on that. Okay, let's give it a try, right? Step one is to clear the way. So we're going to use lemon, which is the oil for clarity and cleansing, and tea tree, which is kind of a really antiseptic type of an oil, right? But it is really good emotionally to clear away that negativity, right? It's also a good immune boost. So you're going to get double duty. Both of these are good immune boosters. Double duty on that one this season, right? Okay, so we're going to clear away those attachments. So what I'm going to have you do is to create a little like painting pool in your hand, and you're just going to make a little cup with your hand, put a couple drops of lemon in there and a couple drops of tea tree. I know this tea tree bottle that I grabbed is well loved, so I'm just going to try and get the last couple drops out of there. There we go, coming into my palm. And now we're just going to paint it down along your spine. Just put your finger in there, starting at the top, and just running your hand down that spine. And then go down. I can kind of go from the top to the bottom, and then I got to get my midsection with the other hand, however that works for you. It feels like you're going into like an eagle pose on this one to get that all the way down there. Good. So our spine is connected to our whole body, right? Our nervous system all runs through our spine. So when we place oils on our spine, it's sending that signal out to the whole body. The back is also where we hold on to things. So think of it like all of those negative sticky notes along your back. We're just wiping those off, right? So the tea tree and the lemon just clears all that residue out of there, right? So kind of releasing us from any of those things that are holding you back. Okay, so you can actually do some of these releasing. So in healing touch, we would be going along and just kind of releasing any of that negativity. You can give yourself a little once over with that. Good. And then we can take 3 to 5 flossing breaths. So sitting up nice and tall, deep breath in, deep breath out. So I want you to imagine your breath is like a piece of dental floss. You're breathing in, draw it from your feet, from your seat, all the way up to the top of your head. And breathing out, let it release, let go. Breathing in, drag it all the way up. Breathing out, releasing back down. Breathing in, nice cleansing breath in. And breathing out to let it go. Excellent. Okay. The next step on this is to interrupt the patterns. So Douglas fir is that oil, and so you can use Douglas fir for generational patterns. You can also use Siberian fir is really good on this. Black spruce is another good one. Balance has some of those oils in there, so if that's the one that you have handy. I've kind of created these, that little intro kit that I suggest that we get started for our cleanse has all of these ones in here, so you have everything you need, right? So those are some options for doing this, but these tree oils really help to cleanse and to purify, okay? And to release us from those generations. So I've got Siberian fir, I'm gonna use that. You can just take a drop. So I either take a drop and just put it on my finger and put it up there. You could just like drop it on, but depending on how thick your oil is, you don't always know if you got a drop on that one. So either way, just feel this like flush, just feel it wash down through your body as you do that. Okay, so we're just interrupting. We're just putting just that interrupt right from that top where we connect with our divine all the way through our body. Whether you connect with your divine, whether you connect with just the world around you, this is kind of what our crown chakra or the top of that head indicates for us emotionally. So allowing yourself to let go of what no longer serves you, right? Acknowledge and feel grateful for what served you in the past, but what is no longer needed. And that crown chakra, the top of your head, is that connection to your brain and the patterns that are held within there. So just give a moment just to close your eyes, give that thought of gratitude, and setting that intention to move forward with grace and with love. Good. Okay. Step 3 on this clearing is to unveil the truth. And I apologize, my picture is not showing up. I think it was too big a size on that one. But the picture just showed, holding over the back of your head. So you can use copaiba on this one, which is the oil of unveiling the truth, or use frankincense, the oil of truth. Okay. So you can take us to the back of the neck. This is where we're connected to our limbic system, right? This is kind of where, whenever we do symphony cells, this is where we apply our frankincense and to find that place of trust, trust and truth, right? And then also places wherever you hold tension, right? Where do you, when things are going sideways, where do you feel that in your body? For me, it's my shoulders, this whole area right here. I can even go like right from the front here to the back. I feel like I'm holding the weight of the world up there. Maybe it's your low back, maybe it's your hips, maybe there's a knee or an elbow. Where is it in your body? I'm going to put an extra drop on my low back. That's another spot for me. And what does it signify? Perhaps you know, perhaps you just put that out there, to ask that question. What is it low back? Might be you feeling, unsupported, your knee trying to move forward and you're being held back. All of those things, left side, right side, they all have a meaning to what that could be. We don't need to know the meaning, but just know that you're there to just unveil that truth, just understand why it is we do some of the things that we do. Understand some of these patterns that come in of things that don't serve us, but maybe did in the past, right? Okay, so once you've done that, we're just going to affect change, right? Once we have that sense of awareness, now we can move forward. So sitting up nice and tall, deep breath in, deep breath out, just turn and twist to one side. Back to center, deep breath in, turn and twist to the other side. Back to center, deep breath in, just open up through the heart space, bring your heart forward. Deep breath out, release back, bring that heart space back. Let's do 2 of those. Breathing in, opening forwards. Breathing out, releasing back. Come back to center. Gently close your eyes. Sit and notice what comes to your mind. What are you ready to clear out? What are you ready to let go of? What do you no longer need? Good. You always pause there if you need more time on this one, but we'll move on here to step number 4, which is to nourish and to protect. We're kind of harmonizing everything in, but also rebuilding our boundaries on this one. So we're going to use 2 oils, the Aroma Touch blend and the On Guard blend. So you don't have Aroma Touch, you can use lavender on this one. You can use a balance blend, just something that's nourishing and restoring. You can use any of the floral oils is a great one for this one too. So about 1 to 2 drops on your heart space, giving that sense of love. So our hearts is also, this is also our heart and our lung area, right? Where we're releasing grief, releasing sadness. We don't need to be attached to anything that was holding us back before, right? We can just choose to let go and move forward. Aroma Touch is also a really good blend for just building just our deep energy reserves, right? Just restore us. It's renewing. It's reestablishing that sense of connection and trust. Self-acceptance and love and forgiveness all come through the basil, the marjoram, there's bergamot, geranium, all of those great things in that blend. And then our On Guard blends, once we've kind of put that on, just kind of feel that nourishment, that sense of love there. And put your hands over that for a moment and just breathe that in. Oof. And then our On Guard blend is our protector, right? So we're going to rebuild. We've cleared away those hooks, but now we want to make it harder for those hooks to take hold again. We want to build this sense of protection, that sense of containment, that we have what we need around us. So on guard, we're going to put it on our belly button. That's the place we're first connected to the world around us. It is also our solar plexus, our belly. So we're looking at rebuilding that fire. So a good one in the fall time, just to boost that digestive fire coming in there. All those warming spices that are in here. We're also going to put it down on our big toes where we kind of set our boundaries, and then down through our feet in general. So again, this is another area where we're connected to our whole body. We want to feel supported from the base up to both feet, right? See if you can reach down on both feet into that. Good, and again, just planting your feet nice and strong. Feel that connection to the earth. One last deep cleansing breath in. Oh, and deep breath out. Breathing in from your feet, to your belly, to your heart. And breathing out, just noticing that connection, that solidness, how strong and capable that you are. Great. Okay, so this is how we can kind of start. This is a great thing to do throughout your cleanse, or just use this as our kickstart to our cleanse. This is a quick little daily channel floss that you can do. I love to put these oils near my meditation station so I can kind of tap into that and use it as my morning practice. So using that tea tree along the spine to clear that weight, clear those hooks, interrupt the patterns with that Douglas fir or one of those tree oils on your crown chakra, and then nourish and protect by applying that oil to your heart and establishing that sense of connection around you. Okay, so that's your daily floss. That will be in our part of our the Flourish cleanse if you choose to do that with the group. Okay, so let's shift gears here for a moment and talk about how can you make a difference, right? And really, and actually when I was making these, looking at this and putting this together, I had 2 there for a while, and then it's like, no, you know what? There is a third, because we're not in this alone, right? So first is to lead the way. First is to do the things, right? The second is to share what works, and then lean into support. So let's look at these. Oh, and this little diagram here, this is a photo that I took. I'm not a master photographer, but this is up at the Jumbo Hut, right? Jumbo Hut hike is on the border between a couple different mountain ranges there in British Columbia. And I am always, you just struck awe by the beauty of the wildflowers, in particular, the paintbrushes and all the different shades, right, that are there, and how they just multiply throughout that field. So I want you to just to kind of keep that in mind. And then there's all sorts of different flowers. If you were to look closer in there, different colors, different types. There's a space for everything, right? Within there. Okay. So number one is to lead the way. And so how can you lead the way, right? And number one is we have to model it. We have to live it, right? So as we take those steps on our wellness journey, it shows others the path, right? So everything you do is not just for you. It might seem like it. Taking time for you might seem selfish, but really you're setting a really good example for anybody around you, right? So use that as your excuse in the back of your mind, your fall cleanse excuse, like, hey, yes, I'm shutting the door. I'm, slipping away from my detox bath as part of my cleanse. But you're also showing others, giving others permission to do the same thing, right? Or if you're, you know, taking a break from social media, if you're like saying no to a glass of wine when you're out with your girlfriends and saying, no, I'm on a cleanse, it's like opens that door for them to say, oh, yeah, I could do that too. I could totally do that too. Okay. Um, and then of course, too, when we have this support to being able to do that, right? Okay. So share what works, right? On this. Now I'm just kind of looking at my notes. I'm getting all confused as to where I am. Here we go. Share what works. So spreading the word. How do we do that? And again, I apologize, my image isn't popping in there. So apparently the words are what was important on this one. Um, Share what works for you, right? And for me, our oils and these natural solutions have quite literally, maybe I'll take off the share so we can talk more about this. They've quite literally saved my life, right? And I see the potential that these little things can do to move the needle on our health, for your health personally. And if we get enough momentum with this, the needle on the whole healthcare system, right? Because it's broken, right? We are relying too much on band-aid solutions that we're applying too late. And we need to do more of our proactive, the little things every day to make sure we don't get to that point. That's the whole idea behind Ayurveda. That's the whole idea behind, tuning in to Mother Nature and re-establishing that connection to Mother Nature, right? And so when you share what works, you don't have to do what I do. You don't have to make a big, business out of this or making this your whole life purpose. You can simply share an oil with a friend, right? Share a recipe with a friend. Invite a friend to join you for your fall cleanse. You can join us with the group or to do it as yourself as an individual, however that works for you, right? And you also, when you do that, you benefit from the accountability of that as well, which is beautiful in that regard. You can invite, you can use a referral link for this one as well. So you can have them, I don't know if you know this, but with your doTERRA account, you can actually get paid. doTERRA pays you, you get paid in free oils for anybody that you say, hey, give this a try. If someone needs deep blue, or someone needs a little bit of on guard and immune goes to the season, or whatever that might be, or some lavender or serenity for sleep. When you do that, doTERRA gives you 20% back so that to use however you like on your order. You can use it for a donation. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can use it for your shipping costs. You can use it to save up for that oil that you just can't quite pay for. And there's a few of those on my list that I use my points for, use my collection for. So that's a great way you can do that. You can host a class. So we could do something together and have a really nice, whether it's an online class, we can do something in person together, have a really fun spa class, and just expose more people to what's possible out there, right? So I invite you into that and to reach out to me for that. We've got an event coming up if you're local to Calgary. We've got a fall event, Reclaim Your Health event coming up where we're going to have lots of DIY stations. It's going to be lots of fun. You can come to that and bring somebody with you to that, or just come yourself, right? Or you can, do this, as a business, incorporate the essential oils into the things that you do. They really are amplifiers. So whether you're adding it into a yoga class to make it even more relaxing and bring people in the present moment, into your Reiki techniques. It just kind of amplifies all the effects of that. If you're a nutritionist, there are so many different ways that we can be adding that extra level, that amplification, and we get to connect and collaborate as a team and, spread this word even further faster, right? So there's a few things on that. Okay, let me go back to sharing. If I can find that button for that. Okay. I always have to rearrange on my screens when I come on and off of that. Okay, so just kind of some ideas of what to do for that one. And then we can ask and invite you to lean into support. So this is a really beautiful thing. And we don't always, I know about it, but I probably don't share this enough. And that doTERRA has a whole healing hands, side of their business where they give back, right? They make it a policy, part of everything that they do to give back. And so this is a little rock showing the 25 collectives. So that is if you donate $25 a month to doTERRA, you become part of this 25 collective. And there's a big, goals that they have and what they want to, how they want to give back and serve the world on that. So that's one way. You could add a dollar donation or $25 donation to any of your orders to give back into the different things that doTERRA is doing to support others in the world. doTERRA also offers an opportunity to, on a more local basis, to hold hands with you, and what do you, what's important to you, right? And when you think of making a difference, right? When the different, if you let's go back a step. If you think of all the ways that our world is out of sync right now and is not aligned right now, what are those? What is that area for you? I say for me, it's like the healthcare system is broken, but our system is broken. What system is it for you that really impacts you? Is it team mental health? Is it metabolism, right? And how Alzheimer's? Is it elder care? Is it, what aspect of the world do you connect with that's broken? And if you have an organization or a project that you want to sponsor, doTERRA will either match products. You can collect, product for a women's shelter. We've done that here in Calgary to do that. We can collect product for um, you know, a senior center, wherever that might be, daycare center, whatever that might be for doing that. There's some idea that popped into my head, but could be, I'm sure you've got a lot better ideas on that one. And they also match donations. So if you've got this particular project that you're looking to raise funds for, they will match up to $10,000 on that as well, which is pretty significant, right? And all we have to do is ask. I want you to think about that for everything. All you have to do is ask. So if you want greater support for your fall cleanse, if you want greater support for your health habits, and that, linking arms together, we can move mountains, right? Together, we can accomplish amazing things, right? So I invite you to lean into the support of our community and the support of this amazing company, doTERRA, who really lives this, right? Other companies say they give back, and not to I've never seen one that does to the extent that doTERRA does, right? It is amazing to see what they do in communities all over the world. So that's another area that I invite you to lean into and to become more connected with. Because really, we can't be quiet anymore, right? It's time to share. It's time to share the healing power of Mother Nature. It's time to, share what healing or what resources we have within us, the strength that's within us, the healing power within you. We don't get burned at the stake for sharing this anymore, right? We can choose to let go of that pain. So many of us may have been healers, whatever, connected to a past life where that was not allowed, but that is no longer true. Right? The world is open. The world is ready to come back to this. And we have this wonderful science that is now validating all of these ancient rituals, ancient wisdom, all that's coming to be. So this is the perfect time for us to start going forward. It's a perfect time to sow those seeds and make these fields just filled with wildflowers of all colors, of all sizes, of all shapes. We get to choose to let go of our pain, We get to choose to bloom brighter, to spread our joy, to allow our color to show up in that field of wildflowers. So I want you to choose. How are you going to make a difference this fall? What steps are you going to take for your health? And what steps will you take to help others too? Good. All right. So coming back and we'll open this up for questions and comments. Perhaps for today, we're going to go a little bit deeper, so I won't record that part. But I just wanted to run through some of the highlights of our Flourish Health Coaching before I turn off the record. It runs from October to January. Okay. So it is not just a fall cleanse because I believe it goes beyond that, right? So when we look into our coaching season as a community, I want you to have that support to really implement this. So we have our boot camp through the fall cleanse, and that leads into the Nourish November month and our holiday joy. And right up to the end of January, we're getting back on track again, right through that. So the cost of the program is $200 Canadian, right? You can do private coaching as well, stepping into that at $600. And you can sign up at the link, flourishyoga.ca, health coaching -fall, right? So that is always available to as an option. I will put the link in the recording comments on this one as well. So feel free to check that out there. All right, such a pleasure to be with you this week. I hope you enjoyed that clearing and just notice what bubbles up for you over the next little while and how perhaps you feel a little lighter. Perhaps you feel someone who used to trigger you may no longer trigger you on that. So enjoy those aspects of it. And I look forward to seeing your colors bloom in all sorts of different ways throughout this next season. Namaste.